Hi, and welcome. I'm Shelley, and today I want to talk to you about you're owning your own business. I have a small business. It's just myself. I'm the only one that works there. And I want to give you some pros and cons of having your own business so that you know what you're getting into when you start. Okay. This is in no particular order as to importance, but this is what I feel are the pros to owning your own business. You're your own boss, which is a really great thing. However, it is not just wonderful to be your own boss, but it's terrible to be your own boss, which, it's one or the other. And the reason I say that, yes, it's wonderful to be your own boss. You get to make all the decisions and decide what you're going to do. It's terrible to be your own boss because you're responsible for everything. You're responsible for paying the bills. You're responsible for how the clients feel, the customers feel. If you have employees, you're responsible for them. Are they going to come in? Are they going to let you down? So you have the two. It's great to be your own boss, set your own hours, do your own thing. Sounds fabulous, doesn't it? But on the other hand, it's not so fabulous. Mhm. I have struggled over the years with um, hiring people. Now, I have finally decided that screw it. It's just me. I'm the only one going to be working for myself. I get to decide everything, and if it fails, if anything happens, it's all on me. So I'm going to tell you a little story. I have a dog grooming business. I started my dog grooming business. It is 2024. I started it 9 years ago. I hired somebody to work with me, a girl that I had went to grooming school with, brought her in, and I thought we worked well together. I was annoyed with some of the things that she did. Not, I mean, you can't be, let's face it, you can't love everybody's everything. So I basically liked her, but some of her habits were quite annoying. Then it got to the point where her and her husband split up and she was bringing her boyfriend and her child in. And I'm not sure what exactly, other than discipline problems, I'm not sure, but the child was a holy terror. He would tear things up in my shop. It was miserable. I did not like it. I spoke to her. She got a little upset with me, but she stopped bringing him. Then she started bringing her boyfriend. And he was, and let me say right now, I do not have a problem with tattoos, but I live in a very small town and I have a lot of older clients. So he was ex-military. He was covered in tattoos. He kind of had an attitude. When you would walk into the shop, he would be sitting in my desk with his feet propped up on my desk. So I had a little conversation with her about that, and you know, I put in a camera, and I have a business. I have every right to put in a camera. So I put in a camera, and I went away for the weekend. Well, it was a 4-day weekend. It was over Thanksgiving, and I could check the camera. Well, the camera was offline, and I didn't understand what had happened. The camera was basically focused on the front door. I worked in the back, and I needed to be able to see people when they came in. So that was basically why I put it in. Well, I spoke to my son-in-law and my daughter. They were still here. We were in Virginia. And my son-in-law said, I was over checking out your house just to make sure everything was okay. And he said, something weird was going on in your shop. He said, they were acting funny. And I said, they? And he said, yeah, her and her boyfriend were both there and they wouldn't let me come in the back. He said, I don't think they wanted me to see how many dogs they had back there, but he said, I'm not sure, right? And I said, well, my camera's offline and I can't see anything, so I don't know what's going on, but I'll talk to her when I get home. So I can't, I didn't even get a chance. I texted her. No, I didn't text her. I got home. I found out that the camera had been unplugged. Not only had they unplugged it, but they had turned it to face the wall. So I sent a text to her and I said, "Can you tell me why you unplugged my camera?" And she immediately started blasting me, calling me names, telling me I had no right to video them. On and on, it got ugly. So she said she was going to have me arrested for videotaping them and all the things. And so that relationship ended, which I was happy about, but I didn't know. I mean, she was stealing from me. On top of all of that, and how she was stealing from me was she worked in my shop. I don't know if you know how things work. Sorry, I got itchy nose. I'm not sure if you know how things work, but when you work in a grooming shop, you either get a percentage of each dog that you do, or you can rent a space. She didn't rent a space; she got a percentage of every dog that she did. Well, when I wasn't there, she was bringing in extra dogs and grooming them and not telling me, and not giving me my share. Now, some may think that that's selfish of me, but you have to consider she's using my building, my electric, and all of my equipment, and my washer and dryer to do the towels with which she did the dogs. So that's why I got my cut of every dog. But she was stealing from me by doing extra dogs. After she left, I uh, I was pretty hurt by the fact that after, that she did that, but wanted to move on. So I moved on. I had a lady reach out to me and want to groom, and I was feeling a little gun shy, but I took her on, and she worked out pretty good. Actually, she was good. She left and went to a shop closer to her home, which was fine. It is what it is. But you can't count on people, is what I'm saying. So when you have a business, you're the only one you can depend on. You cannot depend on anybody that you hire. And I know that's a terrible thing to say, but it has been my experience. Now, I know that there are good people out there. I understand that. But you have to keep in mind if you start a business, you may have to deal with things like this. I've had clients. I had one client accuse me of giving his dog allergies. I don't know how you give a dog allergies, but that's what he accused me of. And this is what happened. He brings his dog at 9 a.m. I groom the dog. He picks the dog up around 12. The dog goes home. Everything's fine. Now, you have an allergic reaction to something, it is immediate. Okay? He takes the dog home at noon. 4 hours later, it's 4 o'clock. He's calling, cussing me out. You gave my dog allergies. My dog's eyes are red and itchy and blah, 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 blah. And I said, "Sir, I need to apologize if I did anything, but if your dog had an allergic reaction to something in my shop, it would have happened while he was in my shop, not excuse me, not 4 hours after he left." Well, this made him even angrier. He said, "I'm going to take the dog to the vet and you're paying the bill." So it just so happened that his vet was the same as my vet. So I called down there and they told me, no, you're absolutely right. If the dog had an allergy, it would have occurred right then. Well, later when he came to the shop about 4:30 and he was not nice. And he said, "I had my dog out in the yard while I was mowing grass, and when I got done, his eyes were all swollen." And I said, "Right there, you have it. It was something outside. It had nothing to do with me." Anyway, so these little stories are just stories to tell you that there's a lot to deal with. So, having your own business, yes, it is wonderful, but there are two sides to every coin. Being your own boss is fabulous if you're the only one that has to answer to you. But being your own boss sucks if you've got other things, other people to rely on. Um, it has been a blessing to me, and I'm not downplaying the fact that it has given me freedom, but I'm at a point now where I'm close to 60, and I have a herniated disc in my lower back. So I'm having some issues there, and I had actually some lung issues from the dust and stuff from grooming. So I have to take a hard look at what I'm, that dang fly. I have to take a hard look at where I'm going from here. I decided today that I have to make some cuts. Um, in a previous video, I talked about simplifying your life and embracing minimalism, and part of it was downsizing. So I'm downsizing my business. I've been doing it gradually, but I'm about to get more aggressive about it. To be honest with you, it makes me happy, sad. Happy that I'm going to be um, not doing large dogs anymore. That's part of what's going to happen. But sad on the other part that I kind of like those dogs. You know, I like the dogs. I like the owners. It's not them. It's a personal issue. So if you're thinking about having your own business, before you jump in, and I'm not discouraging you, you should definitely do it if it's your dream. That is what this channel is about, encouraging you to live your dreams. That's what this channel is about. It's encouraging you to live your dreams. You should definitely do it. But please keep in mind that there's a lot that goes into it. And I've talked to other people in this industry that I work in, and one girl, she owned her own shop, and she said, I had 16 dogs on the books for me and the person that she had hired, and they decided not to show. And what am I supposed to do? I'm like, you have to reschedule some of them because you can't do 16 dogs in one day by yourself. So there's a lot. And then you don't get paid if you don't work. So unless you're doing a job that you have residual income coming in. But if you're a dog groomer and something like that, and you're getting paid daily, yes, which is wonderful. So there's the other thing, you get paid daily, but if you don't work, you don't get paid. So taking vacations, you have to kind of save to make up that week's worth of work. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of thought, a lot of things to consider. Again, I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just giving you the pros and cons of what I have figured out. So, pro, it's wonderful to work for yourself. Con, it's horrible to work for yourself for reasons that we discussed. Pro, it's great that you get paid every day. Con, it sucks if you don't work and you don't get paid. Another thing that I have happen is people will make appointments and not show and not cancel. So if you're relying on that for your livelihood and they don't bother to show up, then and they don't bother to show up, then you're out that money and it shorts you for the week. I have found that people just don't either they don't think about it or they just don't care. I'm not sure which it is yet. I probably never will know. But these are my thoughts on having your own business, and I can only speak to having a dog grooming business. Now, my family has had its own business for years. We've been farmers. When I was a little girl, we started out, we were dairy farmers. Well, we'd been dairy farmers way before I was born. My grandfather was a dairy farmer. My father was a dairy farmer. And then I dairy farmed until 2012, 2013, and we sold all the cows and was kind of in limbo for a little bit. But my point is, well, with dairy farming, you didn't have to deal with people so much, but you were the only person that you could rely on. There was nobody else. If you were dog sick, cows still had to be milked. And there's a lot of businesses out there and there's a lot of options, but please consider everything before jumping in. Um, I hope this helps somebody. I hope that you can see what I was talking about and that you appreciated this video. I want to say thank you for being here and please subscribe and like. Have a great day, guys.